Listening to Lexington Steele Live, right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is indeed the Lexington Steele Live show here on LATalkRadio.com. October 19th in the house, sitting here with Mr. Marcus. What's going on?
What up, brother?
Yo, we are live and in studio. As always, a friend of the show, Mr. Marcus, in studio with us here in Lexington Live. We are anxiously awaiting the arrival of Eden Blair, who will join us momentarily, a victim of LA traffic. As many of you know, here in California, LA traffic is horrendous. So we'll get her.
So we're waiting on some vagina.
Yeah, we'll get her when she gets back in. We'll get all over her when she gets in here.
Good.
Maybe not in a literal sense.
Well, it rained today too, so that to LA's credit, a lot of motherfuckers are from out of state and they really don't know how to drive.
Actually, you know what? It's crazy because there is a legitimate reason, I guess. They say like when it doesn't rain off, so there's all the oil. When it rains, the oil and grease rise to the top of the pavement.
I mean, even without the rain, LA is bad, but the rain just adds an extra element to it.
Yeah. It's like everybody trips out and gets scared.
Whoa,
like, yo.
Slow, they go 10 miles slower than they already go, and it's already packed like sardines on the freeway.
I think we have Eden who's made it into the studio.
I saw some curly curls.
I saw some curly, flaming red hair. Scarlett Johansson like.
I see it. I seen it.
Eden, come on and come right this way.
How are you, baby?
And you will be here. People, we have Eden Blair who is joining us in studio. Eden, have you met, do you know Mr. Marcus?
No.
This is Mr. Marcus. This is Eden Blair.
I don't think I've met you yet.
All right. So we
good.
are in studio tonight. People, you can give us a call at 818-570-5085. So we were just talking about, briefly about LA traffic.
Oh
There
my
was some
gosh,
accidents
there
on the
was
road.
like a 4-car pileup on the way over here. I was almost late. I'm so sorry.
Damn
Wait.
oil.
You were in your Jeep?
Yeah.
So you could have just rolled up over everybody. Like,
Yeah, that's fine. It'll work when shit hits the fan. I can just roll up over it
and go anywhere, anytime.
yeah.
So we just shot a scene about 2 weeks ago, Eden and I. And for West Coast Productions, so people, I don't have the title, but look for that coming certainly by year end. So, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't really have any directions tonight.
Yeah, no
how was
worries.
y'all's weekend?
Good so far.
Well, so you started weekend on the Monday.
Oh
You
yeah.
was like, fuck it.
Well, I get all sorts of mixed up because
Yeah.
of crazy schedules. So, but yeah, the weekend was just basically going to the dog park and the gym and
Yeah.
going hiking, and that's it.
How was your weekend, Mark?
Where'd I go? What'd I do? I think I was down. I went to Vegas. I've been in Vegas. I've been at Hustler Strip Club filming.
Nice.
Just having a damn party over there. And then I came back and I sat there and watched the Steelers do their thing the other day.
With replacement, what happened to Michael Vick?
Pulled a hamstring.
He pulled a hamstring, was?
Yeah, he
Michael.
pulled a hamstring.
Eden, you watch football?
What, you don't like Michael because of the dog thing?
No, I don't. Yeah, that's exactly why.
Well, let's talk about that. Now I have an old English bulldog.
It's Pitbull Awareness Month.
It is, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
All right,
I can
good to know.
appreciate that because the bully breed does include Old English or Victorians, as they're also known. What kind of dog do you have?
I have a Pitbull.
You have a pit bull.
Yeah.
Mark, do you have a dog? You've had dogs before.
My dog is a Pekingese French Poodle mix for 16 years old.
Damn.
Aww.
Yeah, she's been around for a while.
16 years old. Now, what mathematically, I know that it's 7 years for the first.
It slows down or something. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah,
seeing
I
some
heard
chart
that. I
like
heard
when
that.
they hit like 3 or 4, it slows down to only being like a 3-year difference or
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But before, it's like as much as 7 years times are.
In the beginning, yeah.
Up to like 2 years old.
Right.
16 years. My
But the
dog
little
will be
guys,
8
they
in
always live a
January.
long time.
Yeah, they live a long time.
Yeah.
She's in. My daughter made sure that we fed her the best food ever.
Immortal
like,
animals.
Right. I couldn't go get the a puppy chow, man. She wasn't having that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes when the dogs, it's funny when you put some
Purina
food,
chow.
they'll eat anything, and then sometimes they'll eat nothing. You're like, look, you know what?
My roommate's dog's like that. He's super picky.
Yeah. So why is it? You know, let's talk about this. You know, obviously, a lot of people out there that enjoy adult also have pets, and so this might be something. Speaking of Michael Vick, did you feel that he was rightly dealt with judiciously for his participation in dogfighting?
No.
So what is your take on that?
I think he should have got much more severe fines and much more severe prison time for what he
Really?
did. Yeah.
But let me ask you this: like, and where are you from? What state?
Everywhere.
Okay.
Everywhere. But I
Mark,
mean,
you're originally from California.
when you really get down to what he did, a lot of people don't realize exactly how involved he was in the abuse of the animals. There are videotapes of him and another man slamming a dog into the ground until it dies. There are videotapes of him hooking a dog up to a car battery and throwing it in swimming pools. I mean, and that's multiple dogs, not
All right,
just
so
one
that
or two. It was.
you've actually seen the footage.
Yes.
Of it. Okay, now that does change a lot of things, including elements of my opinion
'cause
about
he
it.
he got off really easy as
But
kind of getting a plea deal with it, and in a way, not really ever. He's never actually apologized for what he did either, and he's never really outrightly said that what he did was wrong or anything like that. And so for me, until he does something like that, at least there's just no forgetting about what he did.
Mark, what were you saying?
oh no, I think he had to donate a certain amount of money, time, charitable hours to awareness. I mean, I think
But
he
he
still
owns
continues that.
dogs again. I don't think he should ever be allowed to own animals ever again.
Animals are the best things, I think, for the healing process. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but he.
Well,
I mean,
Considering what he did.
what I don't like is, you know, you look and you see people, they do cockfights, there's dog fights that haven't stopped because Michael Vick went down. And
Oh no, absolutely not. And I think that, you know, the main problem with it is, for me, more than anything, is that he's still allowed to play football. Because, and even recently there was something about when he was put on the Steelers, a lot of what they were saying about the reasons they did is because, well, he is a talented football player, so what he did doesn't really matter because he's so talented. And I think that that's not really right. You know?
I'll tell you this. You know, one of my strongest positions on the whole situation revolves around the fact, as Marcus alluded to, that the existence of dogfighting was not a creation of Michael Vick.
Oh no, absolutely
And-
not. I'm just saying specifically for what he did.
Yeah, but his
specifically.
participation.
Would you agree that being that it's a part of culture that has existed for hundreds of years, maybe not literally hundreds of years, but if you compare it to cockfighting, as Marcus says, we've seen in the southern region of the United States as well as Mexico, even bullfighting. And I think, and perhaps that it was a part of Michael Vick's culture that was outside of his pro career as a football player, maybe a part of his culture as an individual. And what I think is that there was a lot of rush to judgment based on his celebrity, because I'm sure that there are a number of people that are higher up on the dogfighting chain that do not have celebrity on a national level like Vick. Given what he's done, I cannot say that Michael Vick is the only person that did those type of things to animals.
Oh,
not
no,
taking
absolutely
anything away
not.
from.
And I think anyone else that does the same thing should, you know, if they're in a professional situation, they should never be allowed to have their profession again either.
That
they
I
should
don't
be
know.
just as justly punished as if they were, you know.
But let me ask you
hurting
this then.
children,
Let me ask you
because
this then.
At the same
If-
time, that's something that can't defend itself.
Right, but if he was unable to own dogs, right, and own
I don't
animal
think-
farms,
yeah.
that makes sense. If he's unable to earn any income owning dogs, I understand that. But to remove a person's livelihood, the way the person puts food on his table or buys clothes for his kids, I cannot take a man's profession that has nothing to do with that from him. And that's my position. I mean, you know, certainly enough, if you take the time away from the game, what that did, that the impact that you would say if he was to lose his job, the impact that he suffered from that year away did pretty much ruin his career as a starting quarterback. We've seen his resurgence with the Steelers.
Yeah, I know he's a backup, but
I'll
that's
put it. This see, and it's funny because I can relate to having to, have a certain light shine on you in a way that's unfavorable. Let's say that.
Yeah.
And
Can't we all?
And I think seeing him have to, you don't just when things happen to you like that, you don't just die and go away. You still live. You still wake up with those responsibilities. You still have to learn from your mistakes, and and I think that part of that process is a lot of things. I think no matter what he does, he's going to be judged by those acts because it was so played out in the media on one level, and it was such a personal. But then everyone has an affinity for animals and pets, and those things are relatable to a large number of people. So unfortunately, he's got to live with that. Yeah. But I think that you also have to let a man try to redeem himself too. You have to.
Like I said, if he had ever actually publicly apologized for what he did,
I mean, I can't say I don't know what he's done since. I wouldn't mind so much,
but
I'm pretty sure he's constantly dealing with it.
Yeah. But
it's like the punishment is continuing.
Yeah, but it
it's
is
just
a
like
thing too because
Roethlisberger.
it's
Just like Roethlisberger, he's on the same team and he's got the same. He had the whole rape things and
right.
Yeah, and that's something else too. It's like for me, I guess the main point of it is these guys are doing things that, if a normal person were convicted of the same thing, it would be devastating. So, for me, it's kind of something that you have to look at, like what they're showing.
Okay, look, I'm going to say this.
Because they're saying, well, these people are of the stuff that athletes, so they're kind of above it. And that's.
But a lot of stuff you're talking about, no one saw. The general public didn't see those heinous acts with
it's out there, though. You can find it.
And the thing about it is, like, you do have to understand. Let's understand.
And I think the guys that rape women too, I don't think they should be.
Okay, well that's that. I mean,
same
that's.
Thing.
Well, here's the thing. And having brought up Ben Roethlisberger, we have to admit that he was not charged with anything. So there is a difference between being the suggestion that one. And the thing is, the victim. There are two victims in every crime, whether it's the accuser or the accused, the victim or the accused. The accuser, oftentimes, he may not be a victim, but those around him are victims. So what I'm saying is, if you were to take, if the system was to eradicate Michael Vick from the ability to play professional football, then victims become his children, or perhaps his spouse, or those that benefit from the means that he provides by being an athlete. Right. But we do have a caller coming in, so why don't we move on to a call? But it's great debate. This is real people talk here on the Lex Live. People, this is Lex Live here with Eden Blair and Mr. Marcus. Talk to us.
Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
You're live.
Well, I'm just listening to what. Hello?
Yes,
Hello.
you're live on air.
Yeah, you probably got to turn your radio down or something.
Yeah, turn your radio down in the background.
Turn your radio down.
Okay.
Yeah, turn your volume down in the back.
So I'm just listening to what she's saying about Michael Vick. I mean, he paid his debt to society, and he should be able to make a living. We got people that do white-collar crimes and whatever, and they go back to doing what they did. Look at, for instance, Martha Stewart. She did her thing, went to jail, came back and went back on TV. Nobody said nothing about that.
Interesting point.
Well, except that Martha Stewart embezzled and that kind of thing. It's not, killing living creatures.
Well, no. I mean, no.
It's a big difference.
She's still a convicted felon.
And then also, even that is a matter of perspective, because if you look at what Martha Stewart did, and Carl, thanks for bringing this up in terms of the comparative white collar crime to violent crime. If you look at the material impact of white collar crime on human beings is exponentially greater than what we would see on an animal. Whereas if Michael Vick killed 5 dogs, which is heinous at its minimum, at a bare minimum, it is heinous. But if you look at Martha Stewart affecting the inside
Michael Vick didn't personally kill the animal.
Right. Well,
yes,
Caller, hold on one second. Caller, hold on one second. I have to make this point. Caller, hold on as I make this point. I'm actually following up on what you brought up with Martha Stewart. Okay.
Yes.
Now, in regards to Martha Stewart and white collar crime, what you're seeing is an impact that vastly hits a number of people because a number of people are either shorted or cheated out of their profits in their investments. So you have people who are unable to make money on their investments for their futures, the protection of their futures, based on someone playing along these lines of white collar crime, insider trading, something that affects millions of people. So there is a difference. If we're looking at violence or white collar crime, it is still a crime. Call, as you brought up, continue.
You get that?
But my point is, she was able to go back to what she was doing.
Right.
Nobody had no problem with that.
Right.
She's back on TV. She's selling books. She's selling cookbooks, all that stuff.
Well, you know, it's funny too, because I mean, this in this society now, if you look up the news, if you go to any news media website, it's like there's 100 stories.
There's always something.
And there's this person did this person did that. I mean, we really can report on things at the instant it happens, and we can rush to judgment, and we can rush to to form an opinion, and all of those opinions are related to our experiences as we grow up and what we relate to and what means something to us, definitely. And I can see where the argument, because I keep seeing it in so many different ways and so many different levels. I'm a guy that wants to see people be redeemed. I think that once you see, I mean, there's bad apples out there, and that there's no possible rehabilitation or redemption possible. But then there are others that truly feel like they learn from that and can educate others in the process.
Yeah,
and I think that you can't shut the door to that, because they can turn around and teach people because of what they've been through. Now, Martha Stewart, I mean, I don't know what she could teach people. She could teach people that just don't get caught. but I think.
Well, I mean, Michael Vick did have a platform. I mean, he could have.
And I think he
gone
still
out
does,
and
though.
he could talk to people about.
I can't believe this guy is walking
trying
around
to stop
not
dogfighting in their neighborhoods. He
Right.
could
Caller,
try
thanks
to
very
become,
much.
become an advocate against
I
it,
believe
but he hasn't done
believe
that.
he is. I can't see this guy not being an advocate.
But yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you know, like you said, people, I guess they had to make their money or anything like that. But also, you know, it's horrible what happened to the animals.
Yeah.
But he did get busted. Animals got rescued, and a bunch of animals that people thought would never be able to ever be in society. 37 dogs are all in happy homes.
Okay.
A lot of them are therapy dogs. They're advocates for their breed.
Yeah.
Especially fighting dogs. And I'm on a personal level too, just because I'm a dog trainer and I've rehabilitated a number of fighting dogs.
Yeah.
And
See, people, it's important to note too that as we discuss this, it's a learning process, and we're learning about not only what the personalities include with the adult stars that you enjoy, but we're also, this is also a healing thing, because I'm an animal. I own a dog. Marcus owns a dog. You train dogs, rescue dogs. So, but I do, as Marcus said, there always seems to be a need. America is the land of second chances, and I do think that paying one's debt to society, we have to. I believe that we have to allow people a chance to resurrect themselves. And if you emerge from a corrective system, we would hope that you are a benefactor of that, having come through that.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
And everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, that's. It doesn't. You don't have to necessarily be put in the media to feel bad about something. You know what I mean? To be felt like you need to redeem yourself. You can do just in everyday things, in everyday walk of life. You know what I mean? I guarantee you come across some things. I could have done that better. Oh, I shouldn't have lied to that person. I need to keep my word with this person. I mean, those things are just. Whether they're small or huge magnitude. I think that's just human nature.
Well,
Make mistakes
speaking
and
along those lines, we've all probably been through circumstances that have put us through the fire, and one has to emerge from the fire and rise like a phoenix, if you will.
For sure.
Now, specifically, Marcus, you've dealt with a circumstance. Are you going to the Exotica coming up in New Jersey?
No, I can't afford to go.
Okay, there's a big convention of people in New Jersey come up in October.
It's an awesome convention. If you can go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
it.
Exotica's
I
awesome.
went. I was able to go last year. I'm not
Yeah.
able to go this year, but
We got the evening coming up in
Yeah,
January.
exactly.
So now, Marcus, you're doing a one-man seminar coming up at
yeah.
the convention, and it actually is. Can you explain what exactly? Just so people that are on the East Coast and want to go to the Exotica LA, I believe it's
New
November
Jersey.
12th through
Yeah.
14th. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah,
Right?
13th
Yep.
through the 15th. I think,
13th through the 15th.
or 12th through the 15th.
And that's the
Yep.
biggest show
12,
they have.
13.
That in my understanding, that's the one that
That's
gets the
the-
most
yeah.
turnout. There's the most people.
Is,
It's
they say
great.
that it's bigger than than AVN.
No.
No.
I mean,
Of the
I think-
Exotica shows
Right.
that they put on, New Jersey consistently
Yeah.
has the most people come out to it. So it's a
Right.
really great,
So
great show.
the whole tri-state area turns out. So people from the tri-state area, if you want to not only enjoy the convention, but Mr. Marks is also hosting a one-man seminar, which will take place there as well. Tell us a little bit about what is the purpose of the seminar, Marcus. We know that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of questions to be answered, and you're providing a platform to deal with those. So what and this really works within what we're talking about with redemption and Michael Vick and the fact that people should be given an opportunity to reinvest in themselves in what they do for a living.
Right.
Tell us about that.
I mean, it kind of came from, I've been Exotica since like almost the first one, which was about 5 years ago, I guess. In New Jersey, I haven't been there. I didn't go there last year, but I like the crowd. I like the energy. The fans from New York on the East Coast are just amazing. And I approached Adrian over there at Exotica, who basically kind of like organizes it. And I said, I'd like to do a seminar. So then we came up with some ideas, and so we came up with, the ups and downs of a 20-year career.
Okay.
I
Nice.
started in 1994. Now we're looking at, going to 2016. So it's been, and I think from my this unique perspective of ups and downs of a porn career, I'm juggling a wife and 2 kids and being at the really high, partying with the best and winning awards to being like, shunned and blacklisted and really having personal challenges. But really at the end of the day, just like every day you get a new day to like, to reinvent, to create, to make something new again. And I'm a big fan of porn. I'm a huge fan. I'm a walking encyclopedia. I've been around the icons. I've had the personal conversations and the personal experiences and the interactions. And I just don't want to let that. I'm not gonna just give that up. I just feel like as a black man too. That's rare. There's not many of us in this industry, and to have a long career, whether people want to say it's bad or good or whatever, I think it's still my decision, and I still feel very positive about everything, and I still feel very positive about this industry, and I feel like there's a lot more work to do, and I feel like that if I can help in that process, if I can contribute to that, sharing my experiences, and people can learn from that, then awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
now,
great.
here's the thing. Have you guys noticed that reactions towards things in our industry vastly are in opposition to what the general public
Oh my gosh, I can't
feels
even.
about circumstance?
Yeah, it's so crazy. Like actually, there's something that particular like showing the world it's like a positive thing, especially as a female in the industry. A lot of people, like your everyday person, thinks that we're victims and we have no control and we're just being used up and we're just horrible creatures that have been molested or abused or whatever. But if you talk to 98% of the girls in this industry, it's all positive. We're all happy with what we're doing. We love what we do. We know we have power in the industry. We get to decide what we want to do, when we want to do it, how we accept it, like everything. So, and a lot of people, they focus on, especially on the negative side of it, the bondage, the hardcore bondage porn or the hardcore gangbangs, things like that, because the girls are like, they're getting called whores or bitches or they're getting choked out and they're getting gagged and everything. But what the general public doesn't seem to understand is that the girls that do that type of thing, they love it. They don't do it because they're getting paid to. They don't do it because someone told them they have to. They're doing it because they genuinely love it. And at the end of the day, they're so happy and they got off so many times and they just absolutely adore it. So, and for me, not my thing, so I don't do that kind of thing.
Right.
But, what I do and when I get a lovely piece of chocolate, it's so much fun, right?
Yeah.
So, and for me, that was a big deal, especially in my family. I actually got outed. Like in my first like 2 months in the industry by a kid that I knew for like 2 months at one high school I went to in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi. And he sent my very first IR scene, which was my second scene in the industry, to my little sister.
How old was your little sister?
At the time, she was 22.
Okay. So she was grown, so she was an adult.
But
so
they're very, my mother's side of the family, my sister, my parents were divorced when I was like 3. So it's like my mom's side and my dad's side. And my mom's side, they're all very religious.
Okay.
And so, you know, I've never lied to them or anything. So, but she texted me and she's like, hey, I have this email that's titled like that you're in a porn and that it's with a black guy. And you know, is that true? And I'm like, yes, it's true. You don't want to watch it, I promise you. Just don't open it. And it wasn't because I'm ashamed of what I did. It's because I know that she would be shocked by it.
It wasn't for her.
Yeah, it's not for her. Obviously, she's not the kind of person that's going to watch that kind of porn. So
well,
why
not
would
to cut
I
you off,
submit
but
her to it? You know.
You mentioned it from it was a person you knew from Mississippi. Now, have you found that it is that there was a differential that the person was a black guy? Like, had that person sent...
the guy that sent her the email sent me a message basically condemning me for, you know, having sex with a black guy or doing anything
mean
at all
racism
with
still
one.
exists?
Well, of course.
But no.
It's
So
there,
it wasn't
you
about
know,
doing porn. It was about that you did it with
that I did with the black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he was absolutely appalled by it. And I was like, you know what? People are people. And
How's that work? I don't understand.
yeah, and so, you know, like, for me, like, I know in porn they differentiate, like, oh, it's interracial, blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, no, it's just a dude and I get to enjoy you, you know?
Yeah.
So
Well, no,
for me, that's how it is.
Look, I mean, you know, sitting here in the studio, you have, you know, the individual Miss Marks who took interracial to another level. I mean, when you started, when you started your career, Marcus, there was a very few guys doing interracial, but you were one that popularized interracial, and you and Sean and Jake Steele were perhaps the preeminent leaders of. You guys were the only guys that were doing interracial for
Now
a
it's
number
like
of
taking
years.
over the world, huh?
Yeah, so like you actually paved the road that many guys came, including myself, that came behind you, walked upon. So, you know, has it always been? Have you found in 20 years? Have you felt that for people there was and Eden, I asked you this as well. I mean, is it that big of a deal to the general public that
For some
it's
people.
sex on film, or that, you know?
I get a lot of like weird things like because what we're talking about, positive and negative, something that really, really bugs me is that every single porn documentary is negative.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely negative.
And it plays on
Except
to what you spoke about, like,
there's one called Naked Ambition, which is my favorite one. It actually, for me, has sealed the deal.
Is that
for
on
getting into
Netflix
porn.
available?
Yes, it's on
Okay.
Netflix right now.
Naked
And
Ambition.
it's about a photographer who's trying to make a coffee table book about the adult industry. So it's an R-rated look at an X-rated industry. And he goes to the AVN Awards and he's just blown away by it and how open everyone is and how free
Let's
everyone
start
is.
Bonnie
and how
Rotten and
everyone is.
Belladonna. Is that the one?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to
No,
figure
but
that out.
he loves how it's just everyone is who they are and not ashamed of who they are, and they completely express it, and then all the fans are there and they love it. I'll tell you what, I have never felt better about myself since I got in the industry. I am so much more confident in who I am and my body and everything, because I mean, for every like one person that's like, oh, you're ugly or you're a whore or whatever, there's hundreds of people that are like, you are a goddess or you're so beautiful or
That's usually the one that helps you.
thoroughly,
Like,
yeah, and
like-
they thoroughly enjoy what you're doing. And so for me, you know, a lot of the general public, like I said, like they think it's so negative, but at the end of the day, a lot of them point with one hand and jerk with the other.
Right.
So it's, you know,
That's a good way
Well,
to
they
put
say
it.
when you point one finger, you got 3 more pointing back at you. So
yeah, that's a good one.
I don't know. I've seen it all, and you know, people got weird. You know, race. I'm gonna be real with you. Race is a part of our sexual
Oh, absolutely.
makeup. It's like,
yeah.
you know, it's like a fetish. Like it kind of it does turn you on. People
I
use
know that about
they
my-
use our
about my
skin
fans
color as an
especially,
element. Yeah, as an element of turn. I mean,
It's like
male
they
or
use
female.
this. They use this
Right.
as an element. You
Right.
know,
Oh, your
for
red
me-
hair.
For
Right.
me, it's just
Oh,
hair,
yeah,
but
yeah.
for some people, the fact that it's red and that my bush is red, they're like,
Is your
Yeah.
bush
You know,
red?
so-
Let me
yes.
see. Prove it. Oh yeah, that's a hell of a.
There we are, people. It is indeed. For those of you,
So it's
don't
red,
ever
you
see
know.
it, but you can see it on video. It is red. We
It's
guarantee
very
it.
red. You
Yeah.
see my scene with Lex, you're gonna be blown
Yeah.
away. It's big and fluffy and red.
Nice.
So carpets match the drapes. But that's the
I
thing.
like
Is
that.
like, you know, so it's race is a big thing. But you know what I get a lot of too is I get a lot of negative comments from some people where it's like a Hispanic guy or a Filipino guy or something, and they're like, oh, it's only interracial if it's a black guy. There's no interracial with this, no interracial with that. I'm like, well, part of that is because there's not that many guys of that race in the industry, and then also there's not, to me, for the fetishism aspect of it, enough of a color difference to really have that fetishism in it. So, you know, but I've also done IR with Asian guys and stuff like that
Yeah, I
too.
know.
And so there is like that side of it. But
I mean,
the
if-
guy's right, but there's no reason to be pissed
Well,
off
you
about
don't
it.
have
It's
to-
like, if you want to see
Right.
Hispanic guys in porn, maybe you should get in
No
porn.
one,
you know?
no one says you have to be smart to watch porn.
No.
So it's just like we're not, we don't have to really educate these cats. I mean, you basically give them something to work with, something to start with, and then they take it from there.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I truly believe, and I don't want to hear from another female like, oh, my family get mad if I do this. Do what you like.
My
And
family, I don't care. I
don't
told them.
don't let no agent, no boyfriend, no man. That's your body. You do
Yeah.
what the hell you want to do with it. If you prefer black men or Asian, whatever the hell you prefer, do your thing.
Yeah.
And be in your strength and in your confidence in doing that, you will inspire others.
Yeah, and
Plain and
that's
simple.
that's what I was saying.
Truer
about the
words
girls
have
in the
never been
industry.
spoken.
Like,
That's-
especially now with the social media, I think fans are seeing for the first time really real, like the girls in the industry as real girls, and they're seeing our sexuality and they're seeing our personalities and they're seeing what we love and how we blend that in with everything that we do on screen. And I think that a lot of that too is, like I said, our sexuality and our sexual preferences. Like, I wouldn't do IR if I didn't want to, like it's that simple. So like I was saying
Right.
before, is it's all positive. Like, we have
When you-
the power to say, yes, I want to do this, and no, I don't want to do that,
I'll ask you a question. Were you with a black man before you got into the porn industry, or
I always wanted to be.
always?
Wanted to be, but I'd never met one that I was attracted enough to want to do something
So
with it. And
attraction.
unfortunately for me, it's part of it is
So why do black men have to be like handsome and shit for this?
it's not
He'll be
completely
like the
a
ugliest
handsome thing. Like,
trailer
for
park
me-
white guy.
For me, a main
Right.
thing is that for you two right here, you guys are both very attractive black men, and for me, the reason for that is you're well spoken and you have really nice personalities, and you're not, for lack of a better word, like the ghetto type. I hate that.
I am ghetto. I'm just talking proper because I'm inside this
Oh, stop it.
talking on
But
this
you,
microphone
I
right
mean,
now.
you know what I mean.
Well,
though.
look, let's be
like,
frank.
I'm talking about
look,
like
there's elements of
There's
every
there's some-
cultural
yeah.
faction
Right.
that
for me,
are
it's a turn
there's a
off
range.
when
yeah, there's a
they're- when
range,
they-
right?
Yeah.
And
Same skin color, but
Yeah.
different.
Yeah,
So-
very
different demeanors.
and the thing about it too is
But all
it's
the
all
guys I've met in
preference.
porn have all been like super, just absolute sweethearts.
Well,
and and you guys all take really good care of yourselves.
Well, here's the thing about it. Look, I
And-
mean, people that are in the industry, there are certain things that you have to operate with to be in the industry. I mean, for the men, we have to carry ourselves a certain way. Primarily, I think, in a nutshell, the men in the industry have to be attractive to the women they are to work with. And I think that is the first and foremost thing. And then if you can actually perform, that obviously helps in your popular. So when you get into this, you do come across guys that are perhaps better looking, perhaps congenial, perhaps can establish chemistry very, very quickly.
Easily,
And that's
yeah.
just part of our physical makeup as individuals. Whereas if we were talking NBA basketball, the majority of the people in there are very tall, which is a prerequisite to make it to the NBA.
And they
Yeah.
got money, so
Yeah.
grooming and
Yeah.
buying
But I'm
looking good
just
is-
talking about like for me in real life.
Yeah.
Like for me in real life, like the really like ghetto type guys that like can't keep their pants up and they wear all like the and the girls, and that just not for me. Not
Well,
for
no,
me,
right,
you
right,
know?
right, right.
So,
Understood.
You know,
Yeah,
like that
yeah.
kind that type. But
Yeah.
but like for me, like getting into porn and meeting the black guys that do porn
Yeah.
is like, oh yeah, you're totally my type, and oh, you're totally my type.
Oh, now
you're
you're
totally
like
my type.
you're
So it's
uninhibited.
kind of because where I've seen,
Where you from originally?
I'm from everywhere. I went to 28 schools between first grade and graduation, so I did just lots of different everything. But most of my experience with black men was in the South, so that's most of what you get is that really hard, like middle of nowhere, like really hard kind of ghetto type. And so I was never really attracted to that
Wait,
until
wait.
I moved out of the South and
let's
like
clarify.
into Arizona, Utah.
I
and
do want to
so-
clarify something.
And there are some nice fellas down there,
Right.
but I was also down there when I was in like high school, that kind of thing.
Right.
So I hadn't even lost my virginity yet, so I was just kind of like, ooh.
Okay, but I do want to clarify.
Get that snake away from me.
No, let me clarify something before we go
And
any
that was
further.
white
Let's-
guys too. I was like, no, thank you.
All right, let's bear in mind though that when we use the words ghetto to
It sounds
describe,
bad, I know.
there's a negative connotation
Yeah.
for that. Now, not for nothing, but if I was to describe certain white women who would be quote unquote trailer park,
I know exactly
that would
what
be
you
the
mean
same.
when you say that, though.
The same denigrating term.
Yeah.
So
I try not to be denigrating. But
right
it's,
now,
it's,
what I would say is the individuals that fit the description as you have described in the word as ghetto is just a part of the cultural makeup that
Of the
is
area.
that's part not of the area
Sometimes.
but part of the cultural makeup of the African American experience.
Yes.
Now, if we were to talk about
Well, it's the same thing
somebody
to say redneck.
exactly
Same
barefoot
thing.
walking around a dirt road with trailer park,
Baby
that
on
might
the
be
hip
a
and the
negative
Christmas lights up kind of
right, a
thing.
negative
Yeah.
connotation, but it is an active element of parts of our culture, and to many
Yeah.
people that is not a negative thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you'd find a number of women who are around those people that are called ghetto, that they might be referred to, but they find those people attractive.
Yes,
So it's just a
absolutely.
matter
Just not
of
my
what a
type.
personal preference
Yeah.
is. Right.
And you know, like I said, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
but it's the same thing. Like you say, oh, I like trailer girls or like
Yeah.
whatever. When you say that, even though it might have a negative connotation, I could instantly visualize what
Yeah,
you mean
yeah.
by that. So I mean, that's
You know,
know.
what I found is a hard dick and a willing female
always works.
just seems to work. It doesn't matter. It's like it all goes out the window. You're fat, skinny,
Yeah.
dumb, smart. You know,
Well, it's the
from the
attraction
south,
of it,
from the
the
north.
sexual.
It doesn't matter.
But you know what? No. Here's the thing. What you said. The problem too is a lot of people don't realize there aren't a lot. The variety of society is much greater than the variety in porno. Like
Oh,
really,
absolutely.
there's black people, there's white people, and then there's a fall off. There's hardly. We could probably count the number of Latino, Latina.
No, I know.
In the
I mean,
industry.
predominantly
very
in this
few
industry.
Asians.
Yeah.
So it's not our fault.
No, it's
and
not.
I find
the
myself.
industry has in
Yeah.
a way has to do it
Create
for the
more
sexual
It's not our
aspect
fault.
of it. I
It's
mean,
not even the
really,
industry's fault.
Well, you know, here being in Southern California and being in America, of course, but you get over into Europe,
Yeah.
okay, you're gonna see a shitload of Asian performers and Asian
Really?
Yeah.
Asian male performers.
Asian out of Asia, but only out of Japan. But I'm saying if
Right.
you go to Budapest or or Prague or France, right?
Right.
It's white on white. You Franco Forte, Kid Jamaica, and that's probably the only two names I can name of brothers that are in Europe.
Right. I mean, I
That
don't know.
go
I
down.
look, you know, I've seen it when it was just a handful of us, and
Yeah.
I've seen where there's two handfuls.
Right.
I think it's really something about, do you really want to work in this industry, and will you find your way into this industry, and will people open the door for you, and will they continue to work with you? Yeah. But it's just like sperm trying to get through the egg. I mean, everybody's trying to penetrate, and finally somebody breaks through, and you're good. And you almost have to create the work yourself instead of going
Yeah.
out and trying to find the work.
Well, for me, it's like at the end of the day, when you're working with a company, it's like you're a product, and you market a certain way, and it
I
helps
am
you sell
more
the
than a
product.
product, damn it.
So yeah, well, I mean, everyone is, but I mean, when you're thinking about the person that's clicking on the link online, or you think about the person that's looking at the DVD cover, it's a product. It's okay. This is
Yeah.
an interracial. Oh, this is redhead. Oh, this is Asian. It's that product, and the girl and the guy that's in it, they're doing their very best to be able to,
Can
enjoy
play that
each other
character.
and
Right.
sell the
Well,
product
we're
at the same time.
components.
Yeah.
We're components
We're
in the
components.
creation of a product for commercial distribution. But I have to say,
But I thoroughly enjoy myself.
Yeah, and I one of the things that I tell people is I celebrate the fact that there is a chance to enjoy a variety of people, and if people feel that the variety is too narrow, if they feel that there's nothing that shuts out Asian performers.
No,
from
there's
the industry,
nothing that
or
shuts it out.
Latino
Nothing. A
performers.
lot of people, I think,
It's just
have that.
yeah, they believe that like you
disillusion,
can't get in. And the thing too is like, no one is suggesting that there's no room for for different people in the industry. The industry welcomes all different types of people.
It's just a matter of if someone actually decides
to do it,
yeah. And they can stay and
they can
actually
hang.
do well with
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
like I
I
said,
think that's the main
they
thing.
create the work. I mean, in Miami, I think it's changing down there. And I mean, you got East Coast porn. I mean, you started you started in New York. I mean, right outside the element. I mean, you got Chicago working on Atlanta. I mean, it's just, I don't like to put it into a box, and I can't think like that anymore. Now I think that the diversity is real, and I mean, we put titles and categories and things to make it simpler for people to find and buy. But ultimately, the people that come in there are from so many different walks of life that you got to really celebrate that.
Yeah, and that's part of what I love about the industry, and that's what I like about that documentary I was talking about, is where he really caught like such a wide variety of people and who they were, and I think that's what's so great, because when I go on set, I get to meet like a new person, a new personality, and hear a new story every time almost, and you meet real people, in a different way than like being out in the real world. I meet so many people who are just so fake, and then you get on a set with someone and you're sitting in a room with them and you're about to be really intimate with them, and you get talking like this, and it's like they're real people and they're real with you, and they're not afraid to hold back what they think, or not afraid to hold back who they are. And I think that that's, to me, one of the best things about the industry and the people that are in it.
No, I was just gonna say there were no black people in Mad Men, and I was like, why? I'm just saying.
There was a girl, right?
In Mad Men?
In one,
I never watched
second
the
season,
series.
the guy was dating a black girl, but it was like very
It was very tattooed given the time period.
You
You don't even see black people walking down the street. In the background, just like, where'd they go?
Yeah, well, it was the time period and the location they were in.
What was
Really.
it? Mad Men is the 50s or the 50s
Late
or
50s,
60s?
early 60s
Yeah.
was the first couple
What-
seasons.
in
Yeah, I didn't
Chicago,
really
or
watch
was it
it.
city?
I can't remember. It was a big city though.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, when you look
Yeah.
at when
You can't eradicate race. That just you can't eradicate a race.
Well, the thing about it is,
mostly people are trying to eradicate porn, right?
well, as
So it's-
Americans,
and
as
we
Americans,
aren't subculture. We're pop culture, and I don't think you can get rid of that.
well, as Americans, I think
No,
that
we're in
that
culture. No.
Yeah,
there's
pop culture.
the whole melting pot aspect of being American. It shows that there's no way you can eradicate the variety of colors that exist in America. So it is almost it's noticeable, but then again it's noticeable. But then again it's kind of like par for the course. I mean, when I go see a major movie and I'm an hour and a half into a movie, and I'm like, man, like they haven't cast one brother in this movie. Like even the guy cleaning the fucking hallway is not even but it happens. But the one thing that our industry does, I think the public looks to our industry to fulfill fantasy. And I think that we have to continue, producing interracial. Because, for instance, there might be a lot of people that don't want to see white girls do it. But there's a lot of people that want to see, their favorite white female star, their favorite black female star, work with their favorite white guy or their favorite black guy. And I think that we're in the business of providing fantasy.
Yeah, and that's like what I told you when I first met you for our shoot the other day, was that I had so many fans that have been waiting for us to do something together ever since I did my first IR almost 2 years ago. And I mean, they've constantly asked me on my Twitter, when you doing it with, first it was you and Mandingo, then I did the Mandingo scene, and then it was just you. Everyone's been so focused on. And now they're finally going to get that, and hopefully they love it and they want more
Where
of
did you
it.
guys shoot that for? What was the name of that?
Actually, we shot that. It's a line I'm doing for West Coast.
Okay,
So we got a
that's
chance
right,
to do that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
it's
a
going to be
lot
real cute.
So we do have a call. Want to take another call?
Yeah,
for
let's do it.
Okay, and then also I want to make sure we get everybody's social platforms out here.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, call. This is Lex Steele live. Talk to us. You're live on the air.
Hey, what's up, Lex? This is Reg.
Reggie, what's going on,
call
man?
in.
Hi.
Beautiful lady. Hey, how you doing? I'm a
good.
fan of your work. I follow you on Twitter.
Yay.
You're always showing like amazing workout pics, and you're looking so sexy as always.
Thank
And
you.
I like the little tongue video that you posted. It's really nice.
Thank you.
And so you
Everyone
had a good
loves
time.
that time.
How was your orgy scene? I noticed you mentioned that.
It was awesome. And speaking of orgies, I actually have my very first gangbang tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
And it's an interracial gangbang.
Wow.
It's
That's
all
Some
black
gangbang
guys.
music.
That's me
Play
great.
some NWA and shit.
Okay, so
I'm
who
super
is in
excited
this
for
one?
that.
You know?
It is, give me 2 seconds. I know Mo the Monster is going to be in it, so it'll be my third scene with him now.
Wow.
And then I'm going to
amazing.
have
Love it.
Here we go. And it's for New Sensations. And I'm going to have John, Mo the Monster, Shawn Michaels, and is it Nate Turner?
Yeah. Nathaniel.
Yeah, so those are going to be my guys. And the only one that I've had experience with is Mo. So I'm extremely excited to get some new fellas to play with.
I'm going to start jacking off now, man.
Well, what is it I told you? I always like to say is once you go white, you know it's right.
What the?
That's what I
Let me
like.
try to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I love it.
Okay.
Porn.
Yeah.
Only in porn. So so what's it like to have dick on your schedule? Like,
Oh, it's wonderful.
Well, because you're crazy.
I love it. I love it. It's nice to be like, oh yeah, I have this dick, and then I get this dick, and I'm gonna play with that dick. It's great. I love it. I just get.
so most women are
have
like
fun.
that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
At least I
So
hope
I've been
so.
fooled,
Especially if
man.
they're in
They
this
tell me
industry.
they're not really like that, but they are.
Yeah,
Amazing.
no, and lately, for some reason, I've had like this lovely shift where it's been easier for me to come. Lately, I've always been like a bit of a tough cookie and kind of needed a lot of like,
Loosening up.
clitoral stimulation and getting fucked. I can't just masturbate; it doesn't work that way. I have to be fucked while I do it. So, but lately, I've been able to come easier just vaginally. So that's really
Well,
nice.
you got to
And
remember,
so I think
how many years
it
you been
happened
in
with you a couple
Fascinating.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tend to do that. With
But
them.
no, I'll be at 2 years. 2 years at the AVN. It's kind of like my
here's the thing
anniversary.
about in this industry, and I always like to do sports illustration, sports correlations. I mean, in football, these are the guys that are the best at football. In porno, these are the guys that are best in the act of sex.
Yes.
So that's why we're paid. And you, as a female, you are an expert and an expert level professional
Thank
at
you.
performing the act of sex. And you perform it so well that people will actually compensate you to be able to capture you in the act.
And then I
of
get
having sex.
compensated knowing that there's people out there jerking off to it, which is the reason I
and
make
you get
it.
you get your own
I'm an
orgasm to
exhibitionist.
boot. You get to come too.
Yeah, absolutely.
There you
I get
go.
to come multiple
It's a
times. and
win-win.
Hopefully they
Value
get to
added.
come multiple times and get all sticky and dirty, and it's great.
No doubt. Reggie, anything else for either Eden or Marcus?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I was wondering, did you ever get your Jeep done that you were doing, like, Jurassic Park theme?
Oh, yeah.
I did. It's
'Cause I
on my
noticed you-
Twitter. There's pictures. I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And,
Hey, Reggie, he
hopefully-
does research, man.
I know.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
And
I'm a real
I'm
fan
saying,
right now. No doubt.
I'm supposed to get my screen accurate rims on it here in like 3 weeks, and then it'll be pretty much done. I finally got my top in, and
Yeah.
eventually someday I'll get custom seat covers done for the interior. 'Cause
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not the one they use in the movie; it's a newer model. So, but
Hey,
and
but,
then
I mean,
it's
it
a
looks
K9
pretty
unit, so I can
authentic,
get
and
my.
I'm a
working
fan
on.
of
Do you have a costume? Do you have
so.
like a park uniform?
I have a K9 unit security uniform that I came up with because
Oh,
there's no
that's
K9
awesome.
unit. But for
You
me,
should
I'm
put a
like,
Tyrannosaurus
I'm
in the
like,
back
they
seat.
should.
No.
Well,
Just-
I'm gonna get because I want to get my dog therapy certified in the next year to go visit kids so we can go in full costume, and I
nice.
want to get her like a T-Rex costume to wear
Ah.
to like go with
That'd
it.
be
you know.
funny.
She
This is
also
amazing.
has like a security
it.
vest that she has with the Jurassic Park logo on it.
Can you
too.
bring your dog on a plane? or
No,
you
she's
gotta
not, a,
be trained?
she's not a service animal.
Okay,
No,
so the-
therapy, service, and
different.
multi-sport, they're all very different.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I have it done. Well, scroll through my Twitter, back
And
like
Reggie,
a
it
month
looks,
or so, and you'll find
it
it.
really
babe.
looks, because when Eden pulled up on the set 2 weeks ago, that was one of the first things I asked you about was your truck, because I was like,
Yeah.
how did you get a Jurassic Park Jeep?
I made it.
You guys
I
see
did
her
it
Jeep?
myself.
I'm gonna go see it.
It
Yeah,
literally,
it's
when you see your Jeep,
awesome.
you're
Yeah,
like,
I was impressed. I've seen,
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like if you see
Shop right
somebody
now.
driving the
It's on my computer,
Batmobile
but-
down the street, like, how the fuck did you get the Batmobile?
Well, when I see the-
Yeah,
when
no,
I
I
when
get
I
all
see
the
the,
time, but I'm gonna start trying to rent it out for like birthday parties
could.
and stuff too.
You
So.
That
should
would
do
be
that.
cool. Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie. When I
Extra
see the-
income, no question, that's smart.
When I
Yeah.
see the mystery wagon going down the street, I'm just like,
Scooby
Doo.
Yeah. I saw a
no,
mystery machine about 3 weeks ago, and the guy owned a big brown Great Dane, and he dressed up like Shaggy. It was awesome.
No,
like,
I'll tell you,
full
when,
on.
when you see the General Lee from
yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard,
Yeah.
the orange
Awesome.
Charger,
Awesome.
and you see a lot of people. And one thing, when I see that orange, people buy, and I
There's a
look to
couple
see if they have
DeLoreans
the
out here,
Confederate
too.
flag. You got to make it authentic.
Yeah.
You got to have the
Have to have it.
Confederate flag on the roof.
or
Yep.
or
And-
what about
or it's
Kit?
not.
What about Kit with the revolving with the
With the-
motion eye?
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
ears.
there's
Knight
some,
Rider.
there's some
Yeah.
guys
Yeah.
that
What
have
about
a
Knight
full
Rider?
on like Back to the Future
Yeah.
DeLorean
What is-
out
okay,
here.
all
at
right.
parties and
What about the
stuff.
love bug?
The Love Bug. I've
Yeah,
seen a couple
Herbie, yeah.
Herbies.
Yeah,
I've seen a
Herbie.
few.
Love bug, got that.
There's but I'm in the group called the Jurassic Park Motor Pool, and so it's a whole group of us all over the world that build
Awesome.
these either
makes
screen
sense.
accurate
That makes
vehicles
sense.
or inspired. Mine would be technically an inspired vehicle. But there's a bunch of the guys out here that are buddies of mine that have screen accurate like 1992 YJs, and they made them exact. There's even one guy that started the group that owns the RV from the second movie that went off the cliff, and they're rebuilding it right now.
I remember that from Lost World, yeah.
So
from
it's
Thelma
really
and
cool.
Louise?
It's like the
No,
ultimate. Jurassic World, the Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Oh, well,
Yeah, as a matter of
I'll
fact-
blow your
Right.
mind when you go to
And that was
Vegas.
actually filmed here, contrary to popular belief.
That's
the
Really?
cliff scene is
That's
actually
interesting.
here in California. Where they
In
did it.
I
LA
know
or
that.
somewhere.
In LA, yeah, in the LA area.
Wow.
Probably
Yeah.
on Runyon Canyon. No, because in commercials you see.
No,
when
it
you watch
used to be like heavily wooded in the mid '90s. It was super heavily wooded, and now it's like a lookout point. So they
No,
cleared it.
as people that live in LA, Reggie, you may not know since you're not from California, but here in California, when we see commercials, you literally like, oh yeah, that's it. I was just there yesterday, or you just they in Runyon
Yeah,
Canyon.
when I lived
hear-
in Utah, it's a big thing because the salt flats out there, every single car company in the world
Oh, yeah,
has filmed
usually- Lexus just did a
has
commercial
filmed
there
a
with the-
commercial there, and then a lot of like
awesome commercial.
like the Postman, the Kevin Costner film. I like post-apocalyptic
Oh, yeah,
Kevin
yeah,
Costner
yeah.
films. I'm a
Like
nerd. I like
Waterworld.
it. Waterworld, The Postman, etc. 90s
Walking Dead.
post-apocalyptic films. I'm huge
Sorry.
on that. But they filmed the whole beginning scene of that in the salt flats. Some of Mad Max.
Independence Day ends in the.
Yeah, Independence
yeah.
Day when he comes down,
Right.
he's dragging the
I love
alien
that.
across
Yeah.
the desert. Yeah, that's all.
I should
salt
be on a
flats.
quiz show right now.
Yeah.
No doubt.
You're
All
so
right.
awesome, man.
Aw, thank you.
All right, cool, Red. Thanks for calling in, man.
Nerdity.
Oh, no problem. It was just
Thank
a
you, Reg.
pleasure. It's good talking to you again. I want to ask about your name. How do you say your first name?
Eden?
Eden?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Eden Blair. Yeah, it's always fun talking to you. I've talked to you in a long time, and you're just so amazing and just down to earth and just beautiful. And I definitely, your body's just amazing. I see you always working out, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. Well,
Hey,
keep a lookout. There'll be more.
What do you think about that
All
red
right.
hair
All
down
right.
there? You love
Yeah.
that?
All right, Red. Thanks up, bro.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, babe.
So before we do get out of here, I want to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to let people know where they can be found. So before Eden, tell us everybody where or how they can follow you in social media.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Eden Blair. It's EDYNBLAIR. And then at facebook.com/The Eden Blair. That's my page on there. So some people don't have Twitter and Instagram, so I always have it up.
Okay. And Marcus?
You can find me at the library. Is that what
The
Oh,
library. In a book.
Yeah, you can find me in a book somewhere. AKA Mr. Marcus for everything. AKA Mr. Marcus on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
No doubt.
Nice.
Now, Eden, how did you come up with the spelling of your name? That's different.
It's an Irish name.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like I always pronounce it Eden, but it's an Irish boy's name. It's Aiden. But I always liked it as Eden. And how I came up with it actually is when I was ending high school. I was really into I'm still into comic books, but I was really into comic books, and so I was writing my own. And the character was actually a redhead. It was a post-apocalyptic thing. She was mutated, like the whole thing, but her name was Eden. That was the name of the character. So I just kind of kept that and rolled with it, and I absolutely love it. I love the
All
name.
right. Well, it's interesting along those lines. Did you enjoy Charlize Theron's rendition in the Mad Max movie?
Oh fuck yeah!
I think
oh my
right?
god, I love Mad
she
Max.
Was, and that might be like the superhero that
She's
you were.
great. Well, she
portraying.
was also Aeon Flux. They did a movie
Yes.
with her as well, so she did quite good in that, even though it wasn't super incredibly well
Right.
reviewed. A lot of the female hero movies I've noticed, just like Mia Jovovich did Ultraviolet. That was also fairly good, but it didn't get incredible
No,
reviews.
this is Fifth Element.
know.
I believe she was in as well.
She was in it.
Yeah, she's that's such a good movie. But yes, I'm just
Seems like the
nerding
only-
me out here, full frontal nerdity. It's like
Well, the only women that get run in the adventure movies are Angelina Jolie, who hasn't done anything really since Tomb Raider.
Mia Jovovich has always
which-
been a badass. She's
yeah,
in
but
all
no,
of them.
Wanted was good with Angelina
Actually,
Jolie. That
Angelina
was dope.
Jolie has done a number of movies.
She
Yeah,
was great
did
in Tomb
Salt.
Raider.
She did
Salt,
the
yeah,
Tomb Raider
Salt,
movie. She did Salt.
but Salt
she did
was-
Gone in 60 Seconds. Just God,
Well,
I can
well,
see
yeah,
her
I thought she was
alive.
badass in Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I thought she.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
another
yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I think in Salt, I think they kind of pushed the limit in
Yeah.
believability for her because she was so thin.
Well,
That
at
was
the
like, how
time
could she be an
was,
ass kicker
yeah.
that thin?
Yeah,
now, Mr. and
she
Mr.
had some
Smith,
issues at some point.
you know, that was great because, I mean, you know, she's so sexy. And Wanted, she was really good in that. But I think Charlize Theron in Mad Max, I think gosh, does she
That
take
woman's just
over
incredible.
Yeah, I mean, does she really just? She was a star. She was Mad Max. I
Everything,
mean, that
yeah.
like the guy that was actually Mad Max. He was like
Tom Hardy's
supporting
like-
act. Yeah, he was supporting actor. He was Charlize Theron.
No, I
Supporting
know,
actor.
and they said that.
Yeah, no,
they-
she
Tom
was
Tom Hardy,
definitely Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he knows in that whole movie. I think he kind of just
Yeah.
it
Well,
just
it's
played
Mad
out.
Max, but
I mean,
it
for
really
her
is
movie,
about it's about
yes,
her.
it's about
It
her,
really
It's
right?
about her. They're
Right.
working on 2. You know that, right?
There's gonna be another
Yeah,
one.
there's gonna be another one.
Yeah, there
And
is.
she's gonna be back.
I believe so.
I hope so.
I'm sure she will be.
believe
Yeah.
so.
Well, maybe. I mean, Max in the Mad Max series, he tends to jump around and like what I like about him is also this comic book thing. I like the anti-hero, so it's someone that's out for themselves, but they'll help people.
Yeah.
That's-
you know,
that's
and
me.
that's
Yeah.
you know when you see yeah like that, or you see like Spawn or Wolverine
Yeah.
even is one of those. You know,
Kind
so,
of like an outlier.
the Punisher
that's-
is a really famous one. Yeah. So
I'll change your tire, but I really don't want to.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
like, look, I have shit to do, but
I got shit
God,
to
I'll
do.
help
I
you.
got
Okay, I'll help you real
fuck.
quick.
But
And
damn
then,
it.
well, yeah. So that's exactly what you actually see in that movie is him
Yeah, I
kind of
love it.
battling with wanting to actually help them or not.
I'll tell you,
you
one
know.
of the things that sold me on Charlize Theron was, did you guys call Monster?
Oh my God!
Right?
Yes,
Right?
that's about Eileen, one
The
of
mass
the
murderer,
serial
serial
killer.
killer?
Yeah, that's about her, and
And-
that was just an incredible transformation. I
exactly.
mean, Charlize Theron is just an absolutely incredible actress.
And I don't think she gets as much
She doesn't get
run
enough
as she
credit,
should.
yeah.
She's incredibly beautiful.
Oh yes.
But what I saw from Monster to the movies that she continues to make, it's literally incredible.
North
She comes from a
Country
great
was
family.
really good too. She does a lot of those like true story movies.
Yeah.
I noticed she does quite a number of those, and North Country was another one of that where it was about when women first started being allowed to like work in coal mines and that kind of thing, and so about being battered and sexually harassed and that kind of thing, and her standing up to that and taking it to the courts and getting rights for women in a workplace, you know, like that kind of thing. So she did. That was a really great movie for her.
Well,
as
before
well.
we get out of here, I know we've got moments to spare. Just it'll give us a little bit of what your person. Marcus, and you tell us who is your favorite actor and actress? Who's your favorite actor and actress? Marcus.
Wow. Off the top of my head,
And this is mainstream. This is
yeah, it's not porn.
not Triple X.
I mean, I'm about directors. I like Quentin Tarantino. I like
Guillermo
his
del
I
Toro.
like his skill with his writing. I mean, I like any actor. I like Bradley Cooper. I think he's just gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sniper. I mean, I was just like he can do the range.
Top leading man.
Samuel Jackson's always entertaining. He's always just on point. Female. I mean, I just like anybody that just loses himself in the role. But I'm more about directors. I like directors.
Yeah, it's hard to say like a favorite actor or actress because like every once in a while you see a movie when you're just like blown away by somebody they've never actually seen before or you know that kind of thing. And for me, I have such an eclectic taste in movies that it's hard to pinpoint a certain actor or actress or sometimes even like remember a name, but like you know that kind of thing. But for me, it's kind of a director thing too. But like I like a lot of very odd like type movies. So for me, Guillermo del Toro was a big thing when I saw Pan's Labyrinth. That one just
It's very strange.
was incredible
Right.
for me as a surrealistic type of movie, and then with the interchange that he had of the violence and things, because he's more well known for creating characters. So for instance, he designed the monsters in the village. He designed all the creatures in Hellboy. He, you know, that kind of thing. So
Creative cat.
yeah, when I see something that's done by him, I absolutely have to see
The
it.
creatures in
Like the Orfanato was another one that he did that was just so creepy. It gave me chills, and then you know it's like a kind of a happy ending type thing, but not in the same way. You know, in Pan's Labyrinth is the same way. It's like it's a happy ending. She gets to go back to her family, but she actually does die, and that's kind of what happens in the Orfanato, where a woman she can't find her son, and then she finds him weeks later, like dead in their basement, and then she realizes that all the ghosts that are haunting the places are all children that she knew.
So
when
you
she
like
was
to
a
watch
child.
movies that
It's very
are somewhat
I'm very like horror,
psychological even.
psychological thriller oriented. I'm not really a comedy movie watcher. But like some of them, if they're kind of mixed in with like the nerdy genre, like Guardians of the Galaxy, I thoroughly enjoyed. I love that movie. I bought it. It's great.
But
But more of me, it's a suspense thriller type thing. That's
So then you like Sicario, starring Benito del Toro. As a matter of fact, see that movie.
that's good, huh?
Oh, Sicario. I might be
I
Sicario.
like very childish
Sicario.
style
Yeah,
ones
no.
too. Sometimes, like I really liked, like the Babadook was one that's on Netflix right now that I liked, even though it was kind of kitschy. It's
What's the name of
it's
it?
very the Babadook. It's very
You like indie films, huh?
no, it's not entirely an indie film, but like I like very paranormal type stuff. So I watch a lot of the exorcism films and a lot of the ghost type films that aren't like
Was it Crimson?
not like Paranormal Activity.
What's
but
the new
like
one?
Crimson
Ride or Crimson Hill? Or?
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak. I still
I
haven't
would have
seen
checked that one out. I just opened this past Friday.
I'm gonna wait for it to come out to rent because
Nah.
I've heard some bad.
Oh, really?
Some poor reviews on it, and
Okay.
that it kind of let people down based off of like what you saw from the previews to what you see in the movie.
Because
So
on the commercials,
I'd rather wait.
anytime that a movie gets IMAX or being shown in IMAX, they have big plans for a success. So that's
Yeah,
one
and it
that's
doesn't always
IMAX.
succeed. You never know. You
Yeah.
know, so that's the main part of it.
Right.
But who knows?
So you got 5 cocks tomorrow.
4.
Okay.
4
4 big black cocks.
black,
There you go. Man.
wonderful
that's-
cocks that I get to play with and enjoy and use to my delight. Really. So, and that'll be fun. And then I've got a regular scene the day after.
It's called a
so it should
regular.
What's
be
the
fun.
regular?
She's like-
A
she's like-
regular
she's
scene.
like,
But I
Cake.
can't necessarily. It's that not for kink, but it's gonna be for Mike Quasar is gonna be directing it. So I always love
Quasar,
working
man.
for him. He's great.
Well, all right. Well, thank you guys for
Yeah.
coming in tonight. It's been wonderful,
Yeah.
discussing things with you, both of you. And, of course, people, you get a chance to see that there are such great personalities behind what we see in the performances that we offer to the general public.
Yeah. Thank
You
you
know.
for watching, guys.
Definitely. You can
listening.
follow me at LexSteele11 on Instagram at LexSteele Black Viking. Be mindful that the people that you're reaching on social media may or may not be the stars you're looking to
I'm the only one. I
communicate
check
with.
it.
Yeah.
I
So
will.
just be sure
I'm
that
bad.
it is Marcus or that it is Eden. And there's certain ways you could tell that it's a real person.
Well, I actually I search my name periodically, and if I see someone else that pops up with it, I actually message them like, "Look, you can't use this. I have a certain thing." Like, because I've had fans that have tried to create fan pages,
Yeah.
and I'll just message them kindly and be like, "Look, if someone's a fan of mine, I'd like them to come to my actual page than
Yeah.
a fan's fan page, as opposed to that." And they're always very nice, and they take it down immediately. So.
Well, that's one of the things. There's pros and cons with social media. I know Marcus probably has an innumerable amount of people that portray that because you've actually trademarked your name. Is that why you go AKA Mr. Marcus? You've had to change your handles numerous times because of that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I try to just stay Mr. Marcus. I actually went after one guy and it was like, no, my real last name is Marcus, so I had to back up.
Yeah.
But most cats know. I mean, it's just one of those things. You personality wise and who you are on social media. So if you're always interacting
Active.
like Reggie,
I'm
he
kind of
knows-
cornered a hashtag.
right,
My
yeah,
hashtag
if
is
your
XXXO
personality can't
and-
be duplicated.
Yeah.
No doubt. All right, well, people, thank you.
That's what's up.
Thank you for all the good people here on the Let's Live show, and thank you for joining us tonight. We know there's many options that you have. I appreciate the fact you chose to join us here tonight. We'll be back next Monday night. I'm your man, Lex Steele. This is Mr. Marcus. This is Eden Blair. Your favorites, check them out. Peace.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live, right here on LA Talk Radio.